really starting to think risking my neck for the captain doesn't pay off. He does seem to have a knack for getting into trouble. I'll give him that. Still, at least this isn't as bad as before. They might be able to pull some charges on us, but none of it to stick, really. After all, it is my job to defend my employer, and that is what I was doing, after all. Damn, though, this is all wasting time. I need to find where Aisha is and get her out of this mess. What's happened with her, it's not good. My father always used to say that we need to give everything we have to the family. They will want to use her. New gifts. And she doesn't need that. No, we need to get out of this quickly. We need to find her. See how we can sort this whole mess out. I might even be too late. They might already know. This is all getting more complicated than it needs to be. Perhaps my time with the crew will soon be coming to an end. We'll have to see. Right now, I'm going to need their help. No matter what happens. This is Red Moon role-playing.
You being marched down the Ocean Square. Drones circling over your head. The crowd pointing, staring. And you are being marched down to a garrison for the real Coriolis Guard. And you don't really know if it's for better or for the worst, but in any case, it's different. It's different than before. You are being slammed into the barracks, into the arrest, and you're getting some quick medical exams for the most gravely wounds.
Yes, my arm is bleeding profusely.
Combat medic is patching you up fast, and she's not answering your questions. She's leaving, and you are locked up in this cell with no window and a 10-inch steel door between you and freedom.
I look around. Is there any... are they observing us through something? Is there a camera or something in the room?
Not that you can see, but you know. They do.
Yeah. I look pretty shaken up. But as we've been marched across the plaza, I've been sending glances over to Farouk. Looking at his wounded arm and him in general. Is there something else that has changed since the heist? Since we saw you?
Yeah, you can see that he's not really wearing his regular clothing. He's dressed in some kind of guard uniform that's just a little too big for him. And it doesn't seem to be wearing any kind of weapons or any other gear. And he walks or sits with a kind of a slump to his shoulders. Like, I don't know, like he's weighed down by something.
I look between the two of you and I feel like I can't really, I don't know what to say, but finally I break the silence and I say, what happened, Farouk? Where were you all these days? You said you were with friends in the message. We just got your message, but why couldn't you send something earlier? Were you really with friends?
I kind of glance over at Carlo quickly and almost slump even more. It's... Pig. It's so complicated. I don't even know where to begin. I
frown a little as I'm looking around the cell. I take a moment to lean against the wall and simply remark, "Well, Captain, why don't you try at the start?"
I truly want to, Carlo. But I doubt this is the right place to go into details. Just trust me that I know that if you guys hadn't shown up, I probably wouldn't... Well, I might have been alive, but I don't know in whose clutches I would have been. And I'm grateful.
Well, at this point, Captain, you're making a habit of me having to come in just as a bunch of guys or girls or various individuals with weapons are going to kill you.
Yeah, and the funny thing about that is that I was actually storming over there to save you guys. But it turned out the other way, didn't it?
Haven't learned much from the time we had on that prison colony, have you?
No, but then again, I could probably use some training if anyone feels like it.
I'm not really sharing with Farouk's mirth. After hearing the first bit and kind of realizing that, yeah, we got nothing to talk about while in here, I start pacing the cell a bit, and I sort of just wringing my hands together and put my hands against the door, and I say, "Hey, you can't keep us here like this."
Think you'll find, pig, they can. And I frown myself a little. I'm not really sure what to say myself. I would really like to properly have a good word with Farouk. He has a lot of questions to answer, but I do agree, looking around, that this isn't the best place, after all. We're probably being listened to.
I turn around and I look at Farouk and I say, "Well, you know, we got some of the story figured out. We got a common acquaintance now. She's told us a little bit about that weird things are going on."
So you've spoken to her recently?
I'm not sure which one you're thinking of, but it's not. And I look at Carlo. It's not his. It's not his sister.
No?
No, this one. I go over and I whisper to you. Althea. We talked to Althea.
Okay.
She was there. She was there, and she was gonna go to the plaza, and she was gonna meet with some guy called Aram and stuff. But I don't know if Aram was even there. It was just these guards and things, you know.
Yeah. It was. You guys were set up, okay? I was going there to try to stop it, but I was too late, or maybe too early.
Yeah, but these bastard fake gods, I say aloud. Fake gods, you know? That's what we have to deal with these days.
Yeah. I stand up and I kind of stretch a bit, and I march over to the door, and I start yelling out that we are willing to explain the entire situation if you just will listen to us.
Shut up!
I think we have plenty of evidence that can actually support our version of the story if you just take the time to look at the cameras and recordings that probably are available.
Oh, damn it.
I simply sigh a little and go to find whatever passes for a seat, sit down and remark, "On the plus side, no one's going to be trying to kill us in here, at least not right now. Although I do have to wonder why people were trying to kill you in the first place, Captain."
Well, they wanted to not kill me, they wanted to extract me from there.
Yeah.
Putting up a bit resistance, and they Well, it turned ugly.
I go up to Farouk. I get real close again. It's like,
Yeah, because you got these powers, right? You can do stuff. Is that it? Can you? What can you do, man? What can you do?
Pig, this really isn't the best time to discuss this. And I had no idea what you're talking about. I mean, that's blasphemous, isn't it?
I walk around in the cell and I eye you, Farouk, suspiciously. Man, you look all weird and stuff. You got all weird. I mean, those clothes look like you being kept by someone. I said, sorry. La 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 la. I'm gonna sit over here and I go sit in the corner.
I suggest we sit back, wait, and then tell the lovely Coriolis guard how unfortunate it is that a bunch of people decided to shoot at us, pretending to be them. It's a good thing I knew they weren't Coriolis guard. It was obvious, after all, I say as I then look around the cell.
Yeah. Yeah, it's probably...
I really want to explain everything for you guys, but I think we need to get out of this mess before we can do anything. Okay?
No,
and I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Pig, and I'm so sorry, Carlo. I think there's actually a possibility that you don't want me around anymore after this, okay?
Well, that's going to depend entirely, Farouk, on how you answer the questions I am going to be asking you.
Truthfully, of course.
For now, though, whatever. And I lean back and sort of rub at my ears that are still quite painful from the ringing of the cantina.
And I sort of snap out of whatever I was doing, sitting there. Yeah.
You take a step back from each other, just contemplating on what just happened, and the ringing from the grenade is starting to damper, and the adrenaline starts to fade. The neurons is slowing down. You're starting to feel it's quite cold in here. This little box of concrete with only one exit. This steel door. The cell stinks. It reeks from urine and sweat from previous guests of this establishment.
There's no toilet in here, is there?
No.
I'm starting to think about the last prison we were in and all that shit that we had to go through there. I sit and I tap my foot very nervously on the floor. Good night. Good night. Gotta go to sleep.
Is there any one of you that knows... Are there any rules about how long they can keep us without even speaking to us?
No. In short, I imagine, Captain, right now, they're keeping us in here to stew, hoping we'll sweat a little while they sort out what actually is happening. On the plus side, this does mean they should be investigating what actually happened.
Yeah, unless they got, other things to prioritize and stuff. I mean, they could be just keeping it like us here like this. You smell that? It smells like piss in here. It's like people have been...
And Farouk starts to cramps, and he starts to shakes, and his eyes is rolling back, and he's starting to bleed nose blood, and he's having some kind of a seizure, an attack, and he's lying on the floor, and he's he's going to have a stroke or some kind of heart attack. You don't really know.
Kimada!
I look a little alarmed and look to Pig and just yell, Pig! Do something for him, and then I knock on the door. You literally have a guy dying in here.
I go up and Farouk, what the hell? And I start to shake him. Like I try to examine him.
You can roll a medicurgy.
I'm guessing they take my medikit and stuff.
Yeah.
Bastards. I get 1 success though.
At a glance, you cannot see that what is wrong with him. It seems like some kind of breakdown. You don't really know. And Farouk, you don't really paying attention to this because you're not there anymore. You're in a dark tunnel. You smell incense. You smell some kind of food. Then you hear something behind you cracks. You hear a gunshot. Then you feel it. A stab in the chest. Like a knife in the dark. And then you hear singing like a funeral song fading away in the dark. Then you're back in your own body, and you stop cramping. The nose blood stops as well, and you can actually move again. And Pig, you from one moment to the next, Farouk seems almost normal. He looked like he was going to have a stroke or some kind of heart attack, but now he seems fine. It took merely 10 or maybe 20 seconds, then it was over.
Okay, yeah.
Farouk?
Yeah.
You're bleeding. Your nose.
What? No, it's okay. It's okay.
You started shaking, man. Do you think you've been poisoned? Is this?
No.
You think that's from the wound or something?
It's. I kind of glance around the room and towards the door. It's probably shock from before. I'm not used to those kind of situations.
I still help you up from the floor.
Thank you, Pig. Thank you.
Yeah. So, well, I can't say I've been too busy, you know. I mean, if you're wondering what I've been doing these 2 days, or last 3 days, I've been in, you know, some kind of goddamn coffin hotel. I've been working with I got some new robo animals now.
Yeah.
I can show you later. One of them is really cool, actually. It's, I wanna try and, you know, I want to try if I could somehow combine them with living material. You know, what if I could make like someone's hand and turn it into, or maybe, you know, I want to do like a robot hamster or like a small animal that I could make cybernetic changes to. Wouldn't that be cool?
That would be very interesting, Pig. Very.
Yeah, or like some other animal. You could start with something small. And then we could dress it up and stuff. I got a new turban. You see this? And I take off my orange turban. See?
Yeah, it's very pretty.
You can see that I'm really nervous and really I'm starting to shiver a bit, reminding you of how I was back in the prison when we got caught. Thanks.
Listen,
it was on
Pig. I put my hands on your arm and I said, listen, things are gonna work out fine, okay? We haven't done anything, you know that. Okay? We're not going back to that place, you know that.
Yeah.
We're not even close to that.
Yeah.
You know. And things are gonna work out fine, just as long we get to speak to someone in charge. And I'm gonna sort this, And Carlo's here, right, Carlo?
I frown a little at Pig's ramblings. I understand why they're doing it, but hardly the best time. However, for Farouk and Pig's benefit, I do just nod and go, of course. Going to be absolutely fine.
See? Carlo's here with us as well, and I mean, we've been in worse situations than this, and we've always come out on top, so we're gonna be fine, Pig.
And I seem to settle down a bit. You have a calming effect on me. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and I sit down. And I try to avoid any surface that I think is moist from anything suspicious.
And I just stand by the door, keeping an eye on it and waiting for something to happen, because eventually something has to happen. They can't leave us in here forever.
Did this happen before, what you just did? Now you were like shaking and stuff and falling down. I don't remember you doing that before.
No, I wasn't really aware of it happening, actually, and I can't say it happened before.
You know, it's like the things we done, it's a lot of pressure and stuff. That's on us. Maybe I mean, I don't know how people work and stuff, but maybe we're just getting a bit messed up from all of it.
Well, Pig, anyone would be messed up if, having a very innocent meeting in a cantina, a bunch of fake guardsmen shot at them. Again, I look up to the ceiling.
Yeah.
You think that you've been there for 1 hour, maybe? It's really hard to tell the time in this square of concrete. And then you start to hear voices, a discussion. They are arguing. You hear that one of the guards says,
"You cannot do this. This is our prisoners. We have to question them. There are protocols for this."
I stand up.
I overrule the protocol, guardsman. These prisoners are important to me. They might be, but they're important to us as well. They've been in a gunfight. Haven't you seen the news?
I'm looking between the two of you.
I smile.
Yeah, I've been watching the news, but soon a very, very, very important news will hit the streets, and I need these people. Do I have to pull rank? Captain? No, Judicator. You don't have to. They're yours.
Judicator.
you hear the locks clicks, and the steel door swings opened, and a Judicator, one of the security forces or the law enforcers here in the Coriolis, stands before you, fully armed and fully dressed for combat. She must be at least 2 meters.
I look up and just stare as this juggernaut enters.
She points to all 3 of you with a whole of her hand. You are coming with me. We're in a hurry.
No problem.
Now!
Sounds good to me.
I bow my head and of course start at the door almost immediately.
Yes, I smile, shrug, and get ready to follow.
Give them their gear. Hurry up, Captain! And you see that all of the Coriolian guard in this garrison have stopped what they were doing before, and they just stare, but some kind of panic starts to spread when they realize that a adjudicator is in the garrison right now, giving them orders, and your gear is getting more or less thrown at you in a very, very fast paced. Here. Take them. Go.
I take my bag and I open it and look quickly through it. Is my gun even there and stuff?
Yeah, your gun is there, and some of them still have evidence tags.
I close it and I nod at the two of yous.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
We have to go. Time is of the essence.
Can we ask your name?
Not here, not now. Come.
Yeah, let's go. Carlo, come on.
Of course. I have to admit, inside I am thinking this is a little unexpected. Adjudicator. Why would they be interested in something like this?
When you starting to leave the garrison, you enter the Ozone Plaza or the Ozone Square. You feel that something is amiss. Something isn't right. The whole square is more or less silent. It's not the usual sound of laughter, of men and women fighting over a card game, or you don't hear the water pipes murr, but you can hear the info terminals, and you can see crowds around all the info terminals. The Ozone Plaza is silent. Only a low murmur can be heard from the crowds huddling around the info terminals and the hollow screens in the shops. But it heralds coming of a storm of unseen magnitude. The air is thick with anticipation and almost painful to breathe as you make your way toward the nearest terminal. The adjudicator tries to stop you, but she halts. You can see a reporter on the screen that says, "The emissary from Scene has disappeared." And it all explodes. Panic starts to spread among the people in the Ozone Square. People are screaming, some are crying. Some people are running out in the street and said, "By the icons, what? Help us, save us! Save us!"
What did she say, that all the emissaries are disappearing again?
An emissary has disappeared, Pig, and they've never disappeared before.
But didn't they all come from outside of Zini?
I shrug. I think so.
We have to leave now. Come.
Okay. I look nervous, but at the same time very eager to get out of this place.
You can see that the adjudicator has, when you were watching the info terminal, she has taken a kaftan-like clothing over her armor. So it's not a super disguise, but still it's some disguise. Hurry up. We have a meeting.
I'm covering up myself in my blue kaftan as well.
You can see that people are running around the street. Some are crying, some are screaming. And for you that have been on Coriolis before, these are typical behavior before the big demonstrations or the big riots that are so common but so dangerous in the Coriolian station.
Where are we going?
To the shuttle.
Sounds good to me, I say, keen to be away from what I think's going to go down. People are going to lose their minds over this.
Once again, I must ask, who are you and what's your interest in us?
You can call me Kosha, and as you heard, I'm a adjudicator of Coriolis. She stops, and a group of men carrying different clubs, knives are passing through. You can see it in their eyes. They are out for blood. They're out for violence. They're screaming, "It's all going into the darkness between the stars. And we have to find the one who did it. And we know that they're them. It's the Mystics, right? It's the Mystics." The leader turns to you guys. "Yes, don't you know?
Yeah,
It's the sickness."
the icons take them. Yeah.
The Judicator, "Get out of your way. If you're not with us, you're..." In a split second, she draws her accelerator pistol and shoots the man 2 times in the chest and 1 time in the head. And then she starts moving again.
I stop with my mouth open and... Yeah!
"We don't have time. Come here now."
And I follow after her.
I keep moving. Don't spare a second glance at the people who are in our way.
The small group of violent, hungry men are spreading. They're in shock. What just happened? A couple of minutes later, you reach the shuttle station. "I got one shuttle here for you. I will take the next one."
Okay.
But our ship, the Red Moon.
Yes, I know all about that, but you have to meet someone. Trust me. Take this shuttle, I will come after you. I just have to clear something up here in the Ocean Square.
I get into the shuttle without a word. I'm quite happy to be away from the situation. I'm not asking questions at this stage.
Yeah, I'm already in it.
Yeah. I hesitate just for a short second on the steps of the shuttle, and then I pull myself together and I enter as well.
Yes. Go. She slams the door behind you, and the shuttle is docking off the spire, and you are leaving the main body of the Coriolis station.
I sit back, seem to relax for a moment, saying, "Well, the good news is we're no longer near an impending riot. Now, we have some private time. Question time, Farouk." And I lean forward, looking quite serious.
Go ahead, Carlo. I owe you that much.
Good. First of all, for the benefit of me and Pig, what in the name of the icons have you got us into?
I don't know. I don't believe this is of any of my doing.
Really? Last I checked, we were to meet with you, how many days ago was it now, Pig?
Well, technically it was yesterday.
Yes, yesterday. We were to meet with you at the agreed rendezvous point, get on the Red Moon, and leave the Coriolis station. Instead, you aren't there. Now, we go looking for you, because, believe it or not, we were concerned. And then suddenly it turns out that actually you're fine, or at least kind of fine enough to send us a message saying, "Oh, it's fine, I'll meet you when I can." And suddenly it seems you're involved with a whole bunch of people, doing all sorts of things. Who the hell was around, by the way?
Yeah. And, you know Carlo's sister?
I have no idea who Aram is. And yes, I do know Carlo's sister. I have known her for quite a while.
And I mustered to myself, yes, that Aram was just some fake dude from the start, probably with the guards and the fake guards, whoever they are.
Possibly. That brings us to the second question. How long have you known my sister? Seems something that would be nice to have known, I don't know, cycles ago?
Did you know that she was his sister?
Yes, I did. Well, I did know about you, Carlo, before we even met.
And how much do you know exactly, Captain? What has my sister told you?
Your sister... The thing is, the whole situation with your sister is a bit complicated and quite delicate. She has her own problems, and even though she's your sister, that's actually quite a different thing, I think. I've known her for quite a while before I met you, and we become very close.
Have you now?
Actually, for the first time ever, you can see a faint blush creeping over Farouk's cheeks.
I give you a very strange look.
Yes.
Maybe jealousy.
And how much has my sister spoken of us?
This is the part I'm not proud of. Not enough to keep my employers satisfied.
Employers?
Who?
There are people interested in what someone with your background, Carlo, is up to.
Well, that is not a surprise to me. It is a surprise you being involved, Farouk. Interesting. Though I suppose I should be relieved that by the sounds of it, my sister hasn't completely lost her senses, which is good.
I must admit I haven't really pressed her too much, as I kind of lost my interest in the mission. There are other things more important, and actually I know it's a lot to ask of you, but I consider you friends, and that's more important than what they want.
I look completely vexed.
I click my teeth a little, leaning back into the shuttle seating area and looking out the window for a moment before remarking, well, I suppose I can't be too angry at you, Captain. I understand these things. Still, who did you work for then?
My employers was the Davash, the Dabarani intelligence.
Dabarani intelligence.
So, you are still working for them?
No.
How long have you been working for them? I mean, was this before we met?
Yeah. I've been working for them for, I don't know, 6 years maybe.
And you've been told to spy on Carlo? How could you...
Yeah.
I don't get it.
It sounds harsh when you say it that way.
But you were the captain of our ship. I mean, and Carlo wasn't even on the ship. How could that possibly be a coincidence that he gets to be the pilot on our ship and you are set to find out more about him?
'Cause I'm captain of the ship because of that. And Carlo's the pilot on the ship because of that.
I'm not sure if I should feel annoyed at myself for not quite seeing that, or pleased with myself, because it sounds like technically you still didn't really get very far in your mission.
Have you spoken to your sister much lately? I mean, Pig, you said some upsetting things. Well, some things that you really shouldn't talk about back in the cell.
Well, I whispered it, you know, they can't hear the whispers.
I do believe they can. It's just a matter of turning the volume up a bit, I guess.
Anyways, I don't know. It's not like it's some big secret that people have started, you know, not these riots and words of mystical power. I mean, I don't even believe in these powers. It's so stupid. It's like, not like people. This Althea, man, she said she could crash balconies and stuff, you know. Who crashes a balcony? That's so stupid. That's like her superpower.
Crashing balconies might come in handy, but the situations it's useful they are probably slim.
Exactly, it's probably slim. I mean, that this is not real, right, Farouk? It's not like you got some weird, you don't got these things. Disease. It's a disease, right? But it doesn't exist.
It's not a disease.
But it doesn't exist. Does it exist, Farouk?
I wish I could tell you no. But I myself have experienced things and seen things that cannot be explained in any other way than that the mystics are real.
Well, it's the icons, you know, and
a mystic, Farouk?
And I get quiet and I look at you with big anticipation.
I really don't like that term, but I must say yes. And so's your sister, Carlo.
I wrinkle my nose a little and remark, and where is she now? Or rather, I suppose, where was she last? In looking for you, we discovered our friend Althea and discovered that my sister was missing. That's why she came looking for us in the first place.
I haven't spoken to her in a while. We kind of had a bit of a falling out and haven't spoken in quite a while.
Falling out? Over what?
About the situation of the mystics and what she and our friends want to do about it and what I don't want them to do. I think your sister might be in a bit of trouble, Carlo, and I really, really want to help her.
Yeah.
At least on that we're aligned.
Because she's probably disappeared because of this Aram fellow. And now Althea, I think she was able to get out of there. But you're a friend of hers as well?
Althea?
Yeah. It's some friend of Aisha's that also... Well, she was the one that does the balcony thing.
I have met Althea before, yes. Was she at the Oporia?
She was getting in there, yeah. But she ran out as soon as the alarm set off.
You see, I was with the Davash these days I've been gone, and they kept me, well, prisoner. But I managed to escape, and I overheard them talking about this attack on you.
Yeah.
On the ozone square, and so I did my best to come warn you, to help you, but I was too early.
I sort of take a moment to rub my fingers into my forehead. Well, isn't this all quite messy? Funny, really. I've always, of course, been aware of individuals looking for information on someone like myself. I just didn't quite think it would be you.
As I said, this might be the turning point where you don't want me around anymore. And I fully understand that.
No, that's... Hang on, that's just stupid, you know. You can't. No, you're not leaving us. I look nervous at this. We've been through a lot together, and, we just transferred the Red Moon into our ownership, you know. It's not like you could leave us now. Just the two of us and our ship.
You can't...
Plus, you kind of owe me.
I do.
Yeah, you owe us both, you know. We've been looking for you and stuff.
I do. I owe you both so much more than you can even begin to imagine. And trust me, you have no idea how much joy it brings me to hear you say this, Pig. I probably have angered a lot of people by now. Enough to keep me running for the rest of my life. And I did it for you guys. I hope you understand that and see that.
Yeah, man, but we angered people too, you know. I angered my employer. You could just imagine how angry he's gonna be at me. I was the first one who worked with him, you know. I was the faithful one. And then he messed up all kinds of shit, and we had to run from him. And you messed up with your employer too, right? So it's the same.
Yeah. Looks like we're into this together, yeah?
Yeah, man. It's just us, man. And I turned to Carlo.
Well, technically I haven't angered anyone, although my sister might have done that for me, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Not to mention now we have a judicator involved. I admit, and I give Farouk a look, she might know things.
Hopefully she can shed some light on the situation and help us out.
Well, if you want to know, I'll be honest and say the reason I have kept things from you isn't that dramatic, really. If anything, it was to avoid things like this for yourself. Just saying.
So now this emissary's gone missing. I know you're not one of the faithful, Carlo. But you know my view. The emissaries, they're just people claiming to be the icons. It's stupid. It's heresy, you know. The icons show the way through miracles, the things that we've been able to pull through. It shows the will of the icons, but it's not like the emissaries are actually, you know, representing them. That's what I'm thinking, you know, but
I shrug a little and remark, whether you believe they are the icons or not, you can't doubt that they are something unusual. And for one of them to have gone missing, well, of course that causes a panic, because what does it mean? I don't know.
I cross my arms and I look a bit smug, sort of leaning back in the seat of the shuttle, for the first time seeming a bit happy about something and relaxing a bit. And I'm like, yeah, you know, I knew this was gonna happen. I knew that the people wouldn't take it, you know, they don't take it. They can't. No one comes out and claims that they're the icons like that. It was just a matter of time before some freak's gonna off one of them, you know. He's probably dead. Probably stuffed away in some closet somewhere.
Something tells me it's not quite that simple. And I look back out the window and I go, well, I suppose the question now is what we've actually got ourselves involved in, because whatever you've got us involved in probably has something to do with why we've drawn the attention of a judicator.
When you look out the window, Carlo, you realize that you are leaving Coriolis and you're going towards the net, where a lot of ships that don't afford to dock on the Coriolis station, they dock on the net. And the net is one of the huge artifacts from the Zenitian arc ship that venture into the further horizon around 50 or maybe 60 cycles ago.
I remark this to the others, and I say to Farouk, Right. I'm a pragmatic individual, so how about this? We find out whatever the hell this Judicator wants with us. I mean, I don't really think we have a choice in that. Ideally, then, I want to find my sister, get her out of whatever trouble you've managed to get her into, and then all of us get the hell out of here. That's my current priority plan. What do you think?
I'm really fine with that. If you just can keep it a bit open whether it was me or not that got her into the trouble.
Jury's still out on that, Farouk.
Your sister, lovely as she is, has a way of getting herself into trouble, sadly.
Yes, she does. Which is why she was at a university learning what she had to learn to then go and help my family in the shipping, whatever's left of the shipping thing. That last sentence all sounds a little bit distracted all of a sudden for me.
Yeah, and it's because you realize that you are getting more and more close to the net, and you are getting more and more close to a most familiar ship. A ship called the Red Moon.
What did you do to him? What have you fucking done?
Somewhere in the distance, a grenade explodes. I feel my eyes twitch. I look down at the body in front of me. How long have I been here? Minutes? Hours? Working on him. This man. He used to be one of our soldiers. He had been hit by a piece of shrapnel. I look to the left and I see the little piece I picked out of him. Why didn't I stop there? He was broken. He needed fixing, I reply. My superior's face looks strangely twisted. What's wrong with him? Is he scared of something? He kneels down and he throws up on the floor. I look back at the body again. It's so beautiful when you snap someone's ribs off and get access to their inner workings. His lungs were black. Too much pipe smoking. But his heart. What a big heart. So strong. So alive. There's a lot of blood. I'm a mechanic. I fix things, I say. Kimara has this strange feeling. The captain looks up from the floor. There's half-digested food in his beard. Disgusting. His eyes, they're so wide. You pig! This is Red Moon Role-Playing. Hey, look at that! I was while Carlo was relaying that we were leaving the station, I had been trying to look at the different docks of Coriolis to see if I could spot the one that we were supposed to be docked in. But now that I see the ship instead, I'm exclaiming, "Oh! Someone towed us away!"
And the shuttle, it's docking on the Red Moon, and the airlock.
I am at the door and I'm rushing in. Ah, home.
I look a little surprised, but happy to be here and remark, well, this is something, at least. We're back on our ship. Great. Now, if only we could leave immediately, but oh dear, we can't.
You when Pig is running around, hugging and kissing things in the interior, you, Carlo, you can hear that from the cockpit. That it's some. Did you leave an info terminal on? You don't think so, but you hear a familiar bulletin voiceover that is talking in the cockpit area of the ship.
I look a little confused and very quickly make my way back to the cockpit.
And as you make your way to the cockpit, you can see that one small info terminal is on and flickers. But you can also see that someone is sitting in your piloting seat. You can see it's a quite athletic, quite slim figure. You can only see the back of him or her, stretching out in the pilot seat. You can see the left shoulder, the long blonde hair. It's shoulder long, curly, golden, and you can see a very athletic right leg that is stretching from the armchair of the pilot seat.
I take a moment to scratch my beard as I simply remark, "Enjoying the seat?"
You see two very delicate fingers covered in a silk glove raises above the cockpit seat, and you hear a "shh, listen," and the volume of the info terminal increases.
We have just received word that the news about the emissary having disappeared does indeed appear to be true, and that the investigation has been turned over to the adjudicators. We turn to Harnek Mara, bulletin representative at the council, for an update. Thank you, Jungevall. Rumors about the emissary disappearance started to circulate this morning at the emissary, who attends to the meetings of the council in an observer capacity, which did in fact not attend yesterday at the council meeting. Which you can confirm, as you were at the meeting, correct, sire? That's right, Jungevall. The emissary chair was empty during the meeting, and all attempts at contacting the emissary today has failed. Now. Excuse me, Mr. Marat. Reports are just coming in about the crowds gathering out on the ring, around the Spring Plaza, around the Ocean Plaza. Our reporter, Mafra Samir, is on the scene and knows more. Thank you, Jungevall. Rumors have been spreading quickly, and people are already getting in here to express their despair, sorrow, and anger over the disappearance of the emissary. The first to gather appear to have been a group of pilgrims destined for the giant Cini, where the emissary known as the Judge resides. And more people are arriving every minute. It looks as if some form of protest is being organized, but against who or what it's for the moment uncertain. The guard is understaffed, but is doing their best to keep the crowds confined to the plaza. Back to you, Jungevall. Thank you, Mafra. Reports are coming in from all around the station, from people claiming to have seen the emissary. Just recently, we heard from a very agitated slumber saying that the emissary just floated past him in a corridor in the cellar. This situation is likely to be chaotic for some time in regards to what has actually happened. Isn't that right, Marek Harara? Yes, the opal fumes in the cellars have been have already produced some rather fantastical eyewitnesses reports about the so-called new mystics, and one could expect more of the same to follow. What will the disappearance of the emissary mean for the third horizon? I now have Boru Bahari, noted icon scholar, with me to answer this question. What is your opinion about this Mr. Bahari? Well, right now it's hard to say what will come out of it. People are undoubtedly in shock over what has happened. Many view the arrival of the emissary as a sign that the return of the icons was close at hand. Aha, you are referring here to the myths, how the icons are, after teaching mankind how to travel to the void, promised to return in humanity's darkest hour, correct? Yes, but that's only one of the many apocryphal stories about the icons that flourish within the church and... Thank you, Mr. Bahari. We will now go back to Mafra, our reporter on the street, who has been asking passbys on the ring what they are thinking about today's events. Over to you, Mafra. Thank you, Jungevall. I'm standing here with Sari Namra. What does the disappearance of the emissary mean to you, Miss Namra? Well, it's all because of this new mystics, the siphon of energy of the emissaries, you see. They channel the dark and the wrath of the icons. Thank you, Mafria. That's just all the time we have.
And then it breaks. And the pilot seat spins around, and you see you think it's a young boy, a teenager with a form-fitting black, looks like some kind of jumpsuit, but it's more posh, but it's made to look like some form of jumpsuit for space travel, but it shouldn't fit. It's almost like a costume of some sort. But the most, should I say, the most weird thing about this teenager is that he wears a mask of a cherub, crying. It's not the sweet cherub that you are used to, you have seen in the shirts of the icons. It's a tormented one with painted tears and red eyes, and with his very, very cherub-like blonde curly hair, he makes a very odd and almost frightening impression. Ah, welcome back to your ship, Saibs and Saab. My name is Apion. And you must be Carlo, and the Captain Farouk, and Pig, right?
During the news the report, I have made my entrance into the cockpit, and I'm standing there gaping at this young man holding 2 onions in my hands.
I frown a little. Have I ever seen anything like this? There's the mask. The mask seems like maybe... Do I know any organization that wears masks like that?
You know that the priesthood of Sadal use masks, but not like this. This is almost blasphemous. It's like taunting the icons and the seraphs.
I am silent for a moment, looking to see if Farouk's entered, and then I remark simply, "Yes, that's right." And who are you exactly? You give us a name, but clearly you represent someone.
Clearly I do, but my benefactor at this moment, my benefactor doesn't want to reveal him or herself.
But how did you get into the ship and get it out here?
The ship has been here for quite a while. And if you know the right people, it was not so hard to get into. Isn't that right, Suleiman? Yes, Sahib.
I smile. Despite the situation, I smile when I hear the familiar voice of Suleiman. Suleiman, did you let this guy on board?
Yes, Pig. He was very convincing. You can see that Appion is juggling with some kind of security tablet between his fingers. Yes, I can be very convincing, can't I, Suleiman? Yes, Sahib.
Surprising, considering you go around wearing a mask that makes you look a little bit like some guy from one of those horror stories on the vid screens.
Oh, I thank you. He is doing a very deep, very gracious bow.
So, tell me, what's gonna happen now? I step into, gently push past Pig through the opening and step into the cockpit.
The usual. I tell you what you should do, and you will do it. And if you don't, you die. The usual.
How exactly do we die? Do you kill us right now, or something else happens?
I don't kill. I never kill. I have never killed a man or woman, not even an animal. Do I look like that kind of person to you? No. But the Justicator will. Oh yes. And she will arrive
Well, you know,
here.
we killed plenty of people ourselves, so yeah, just think you might want to be aware of that, considering if you're gonna start threatening us just upside down like this.
Oh, I know all about you, Pig. I know all about you. I even know about your little misadventures in the Uharu jungles. You may have survived the Uharu rebellion, Pig, but this is Coriolis Vala, and here we are in charge.
I fold my arms, looking a bit defiant. I shrug though, and I say, alright, well, guessing you're not with our old employer then, so we could use some new work.
You surely can. And that wine sack, I'm not... I will never work with him.
I suppose the question then is, are you someone else other than with the Judicators? After all, we were expecting to meet the Judicator very soon.
She will be here. She will be here.
That mask you're wearing, it's not proper to wear something like that.
For a believer, no. We stand over
What do you
that.
know about this? What do you know about this emissary disappearing?
A lot more than the vids. A lot more than the bulletin, I'm afraid. Have a seat. He points at some chairs in the cockpit.
I take a moment just to play around with my recently returned gun in my belt, and I nod and go to take a seat and say, alright then, let's hear your pitch.
I go and sit down and I start rolling the two onions between my hands.
I'm comfortable over here, so just start talking.
Yeah, too much wine and too much sitting. It's not good for the little belly, right?
Can we stop playing games? I'm getting quite annoyed with games, and just tell us what you want us to do and we can get this over with. Please.
Yes.
If it's not too much to ask.
No, of course. Always to the point, aren't you, Farouk? The Judicator will soon be here. The Judicator with the name of Akuba Kosha. Do you know about her? She's very talented. She's quite famous in her trade. But it doesn't matter. As I said, I know more about the Emissary disappearance than the bulletin, and I can tell you that the Judicators are quite perplexed over the disappearance of the Emissary. And that's why we need your help. The Judicator Kosha saw some vids today that you were fighting a troop of Coriolian guards, heavily armed, beardless. That's right.
Yeah, but they're not real guards though.
No.
Tattoos and stuff. Got some weird black stuff around their eyes too.
And they were sober.
You're so funny, Farouk. Yes. I also heard rumors that they are not real gods, and Kosha are quite certain that these gods have something to do with the disappearance of the Emissary. Not that those gods that you fought, but the same group. Because we have some evidence, some vids, that another group of gods was lurking around the Emissary residence a couple of days ago. Beardless, heavily armed.
Do you really think these guys going around dressing as Coriolis guard are capable of capturing an emissary?
I really don't know, but I can tell you that the residents of the Emissary, as for now, are a very chaotic place with many question marks all over. The Judicators have been there, they have done their investigation, and they are analyzing it right now. But Kosha felt that you might see something that the Judicators missed.
I'm rolling these two onions between my hands and I'm looking down at them. What's your take on the mystics?
I really don't know. I really haven't thought about it much. Maybe they are quite unfortunate. They have been burnings of them in the squares, and I heard that burning, it's such a bad way to go.
Could we please not discuss this? It's vulgar.
You asked.
Not me.
Well, I'm just asking cause these guards, if they're after the emissary, They seem to be after mystics as well. Just throwing that out there, if there's a connection.
Are they? I really didn't know. Yeah, it would make sense, I suppose.
So are you saying that the emissaries and mystics are connected? I mean, you're obviously not saying anything, but would you say?
As I understand that the mystics started to appear approximately the same segment the emissaries did, so there could be some correlation between the
Wait
two.
a minute. Let's
I'm not too sure about that, actually. But never mind. We would just be speculating, wouldn't we?
Indeed. Now let's get back to the point. Are you suggesting that what you want us to do is help out the Judicators investigate something? Forgive me for finding that a little funny, because the Judicators are, the elite law-keeping force of the Coriolis station. Well, one of them, anyway. And we're just some bystanders who've got involved in this mess. What in the name of the icons do you want from us?
Oh, don't ask me. Ask Kosha. She is the one that saw something in you. For me, you are just free traders dealing with obscure materials.
I see.
You got lucky at the Dali incident, I give you that. But, yeah.
Well, forgive me then for asking then the final question, which is, why did we need you to come and tell us all this when we're going to meet with the Judicator very shortly?
Because my benefactor wanted to have a second opinion about you, and yeah, I read the files, I went through your ship, I sat in your cockpit chair, found your hidden stash for your gun. I talked with your Jinn, Suleiman. Very nice fellow, actually. And I can say, yeah, maybe you can do something. You can do something that the Judicators can't. I don't really know. I will roll the die. I will send a prayer to the gambler, and maybe you will find something that the other Judicators didn't.
And let me guess, the thing we're getting out of all this is not being killed.
Oh no. No. You're getting cloth, spices, residents at Kua, a new starship. No. I'm just kidding. You will probably get some burr. And being taken out of jail. You shut up an Oporia. You are all over the vids. You are lucky that the emissary disappeared, because your old benefactor, the wine sack, if you were out on the wit, you wouldn't be alive right now.
I actually do slump back just a little, as I admit in all of this, that was the one thing I hadn't thought too much about, and it makes me think, actually, yes, being on a public video, he would have... So I do kind of slump back a bit and go,
I, instead, as Carlo slumps back into his chair, I stand up from mine and I say, well, I think it's these two guys that are the special ones. I don't know, they seem to have a very interesting story going on with each other's past and employers and whatever that is. Listen, I'm just a tech. You guys make your decision, and I'll be down with the engines, and I'll throw the onion from one hand to the other, and then roll one of them over to Farouk, and I say, look, they survived. And then I make my way out of the cockpit.
I think this is a big waste of time. I'm going to make us some tea, and while we wait for Kosha to arrive, I kind of brush out of the room, a bit dramatically.
I let them both leave, and then, when it seems to just be us, I remark, "So how much do you know exactly about me anyway? Just curious."
A fair deal. But I have to ask you, did I hurt Farouk's feeling? He seemed so angry when he left. Or Dost Dabaran is so melodramatic, don't you think?
I would agree, but the captain is the captain.
Oh yes,
Now...
Captain and Dabarani. And what happened with his face? He was so good looking at the older pictures. The Cartras, nasty things, don't you think?
I agree, and I give this guy a bit of a look, because to be honest, I don't really like him. Something about him, there's more to this than meets the eye. But I will then stand up and shrug and remark, "Well, I guess we're going to wait for the adjudicator anyway. Something tells me we're not going to have much of a choice in investigating this matter. I'll be honest with you, I'd rather get it over and done with so we can get the hell out of Coriolis."
Yes, you're going to get a hell out of Coriolis. But remember that isn't it something that you lost? Don't you looking for someone?
I frown, but I don't say anything, I just wait for him to continue speaking.
As I recall, and I just read through your file and watched the vids very briefly. It looks that you've been looking for something quite hard. And do you just want to let it go and leave Coriolis? It seems very unlikely to me. And as the 4-armed technician said, is there a connection with the emissaries and the mystics? Maybe. And I think the thing that you are looking for, Carlo, are most mystic, don't you think?
I think that if what I am looking for is connected, then I suppose that will be a happy coincidence, won't it?
It sure will. Ah! You can hear that the airlocks. Here she comes.
And I turn to the airlock opening and quickly activate my communicator and remark to Pig, "Pig, you might want to come up from the engines and say hi to the nice lady boarding." And I straighten myself up a little and wait for the incoming, I assume, adjudicator.
And I'm just saying, I don't know what you want me to do. I'm just a technician. I mean, it's you guys pulling the strings here.
Well, up to you. If you want to sit down there, fine.
And then you hear some clanking of some tools, and then after a while I'm gonna come back to the cockpit again.
The adjudicator enters through the airlock. You can see that her armor looks a bit... Is that blood? Yeah, it has to be at least on her knuckles, on her war gloves. She sees that you are looking at her gloves, and she's putting her hands behind her back. Apion, she nods slightly, and Apion bows deep. Judicator Akuba Kosha. What an honor. And I just informed the crew of the Red Moon of their task. That was not your thing to do, Appion.
Well, she didn't really go into the exact details, but is and I'm looking around, is Farouk back with the tea?
Not yet.
Well, you'll have to forgive us, Judicator, but the captain's currently making some tea. But yes, Appion, the mysterious mask-wearing individual has informed us, yes, that for some reason you'd like us to help you in your investigative matters. I confess, I'm a little bit surprised that you want people like us investigating for you. I kind of thought, you had a whole Coriolis guard to do that.
Let me tell you this, Carlo, that this matter, at the second it came to our attention, we started to, all of the Judicators were starting to look at each other, and we realized that from that moment no one in the Judicators could be trusted, because we had the task to guard the emissary, in a way, protect him or her, but we failed, and someone within our midst have apparently failed and have apparently helped someone to get the emissary.
Unless the emissary left on his own volition, I say as I enter with a freshly clothed in my own clothes this time, and with a tray with a kettle and some cups and some dry biscuits.
Appion laughs. I like this Dabarani.
I sit down at the table again, now having brought with me one of my friend bots instead, and I start tinkering with it. Yeah, so someone is someone from inside, you say?
Probably.
And probably someone associated with, well, a non-believer perhaps. Someone who doesn't believe in the... I mean, they're making quite bold statements, just saying that they're supposed to be the icons and that.
I frown a little and I remark, in a low tone, I don't suppose the Asturban have showed any interest in these matters. I know you two don't quite... Well, sometimes you get along, sometimes you don't.
The emissary vanished a couple of hours ago, and we have done an investigation at the scene of the crime, and I can tell that it's one of the most strangest crime scene I have ever seen in my whole career. And Asturban has made some tries to contact us, but we have, for the time being, been busy investigating, if you know what I mean. You have a time frame here, a window before the Coriolis guards wants to investigate, before Asturban wants to investigate, before the consortium's security wants to investigate. I can give you a couple of hours because I'm not content with the judicator investigation. And
I suppose the question then is, why us?
The question is, why you? Is that you are the only one that I have seen that has been, should I say, making contact with this false Coriolian god at 2 occasions. You have something more. You have something to do with this. I cannot see the connection. I cannot do the connection just yet, but I know that you have something to do with this. It's not just because of your connection to Althea or your that you're a sibling with Aisha. It's something more.
I'm looking up at this point quickly, and then, as if I'm understanding something, I'm starting to nod.
I frown a little and look to the captain and remark, well, the judicator might have a point there.
Yeah. But still, what's in this for us? Is there anything we can... or is it just as Carlo said before, we just don't get killed?
Appion sneers. The Dabarani. He tells that he is holding something very dear and now he's lost it. But now he's ready to leave it behind and go to the next warm bed. Typical Dabarani. Typical.
Don't talk like you know anything of me. You can read the files and you can look at the vids or whatever you want, but that tells nothing about the man behind everything.
No, but it tells me something about the man behind the silver mask, doesn't it, Farouk?
I just want a clean slate. That is all.
And you will have it, if you do as we wish.
Well, I confess, it seems like I'm on board anyway, because, as you've put it, I do have a vested interest. So what exactly is it you want us doing again? Go to location, find the trail of these individuals so that you can go and shoot them all, yes? Or something like that.
Appion, it seems that he wants to start talking, but Kosha stops him. Let's not get Let's not get overexcited here, Carlo. We're not out of shooting someone. We want to calm the situation. We want the emissary back, reinstated, and we don't want any more riots at Coriolis. It's getting out of hand, and this will spread. This will not spread. This will not stay on the Coriolis station. It will not stay on the QS station. The third horizon will be in a turmoil in a couple of hours when the news gets through the relays.
I suspect this might cause quite an uproar on Salos.
It will sure do, and as well as the Quadrant of the Pillars, the Sadal region, the Dabarani.
Kua
as well. Yeah. Kua will... the Kua planet will probably have the information by now, and I don't have any reports from there just yet. We will start to stream in a couple of hours. This is a iconoclastic, so to speak, event.
Can we still move on Coriolis? I mean, we attracted attention.
It should not be any problem for you. The attention is diverted elsewhere, I assure you.
Good, because I was going to say the one thing you're definitely going to need to give us is access. As much access as you can give us, aka from this point on we're working for a Judicator, so we don't want any Coriolian guard just saying, "Who are you, what are you doing?" or shooting us when we're investigating something. We would like simply to be your agents. Yes?
Yes. I will give you that. I will also give you all the materials that we have collected. But as I said, I want you to go to the crime scene before the Coriolian Guard. They will probably be there in a couple of hours. Before Asturban, before the consortium. And I want a second opinion on the Judicator investigation. And I want to know if you can connect some dots that I don't see at the moment. You did an investigation on your own, right?
Yes.
On the things that you lost?
Yeah.
I think that the real enigma here is how we connect the dots. And I need your help to do it.
Sure. I got some ideas, I guess.
Great.
Let's not waste time then. Let's get started.
Certainly, let's get going. How fun this will be. And I sort of roll my eyes a little. Oh, and one more thing.
Yes.
Judicator. Who in the name of the icons does this masked fellow even work for? Are you allowed to say?
Unfortunate for you, Carlo, I don't. There are 2 shuttles here. Me and Apion will take one. The other will go to the Emissary, quite close to the Emissary residence. She pulls up a security card and she pushes over the table to you, Carlo.
Oh, and of course, if anyone asks, we don't work for you?
Of course not. But
Thought so.
this security card will give you access. Not total access, not Judicator access, but it will give you access to some places that you, not even the Coriolian Guard, have access to. And I got your frequencies, so, and you got mine. You can contact me when you are ready to share some information or some discoveries.
Good. Alright
And
then, let's get in the shuttle and get going. As you said, no time to lose. And I'm a bit curt, but I do offer a sort of friendly bow to the Judicator and a slightly less friendly bow to the mysterious Apion. And I look to Pig and Farouk and say, well, got your stuff? Bring your sword, Farouk, for goodness sake.
Yes, I will.
The two of them leaves, and you are alone. You think you're alone at the Red Moon.
Yeah. I look at the others. Alright, so we getting our stuff and heading out then.
Unfortunately, yes. Sorry, Pig, but they make a good point. Aisha probably, if she isn't hiding from these goons with no beards, maybe they've even captured her. I don't know. We have to find out, and the only way we're going to find out is if we find them, and it turns out that that's what they want us to do as well. So 2 birds, 1 stone, I guess.
And if they have done anything to harm her...
Well, it's a bit weird. I mean, I don't know where... I mean, I'm just a tech here, but...
Stop selling yourself short, Pig. You are just as capable as any of us, and even more so in some situations. Just stop with that, please.
I sort of close my mouth and open it again as if I'm about to protest, but then I don't. And I look like I'm trying to not show you that I'm pleased.
We're a team, right?
Yeah. You know, I just, yeah, we're a team.
So let's do this.
Yeah.
Agreed. Let's try and find out what they want. Hopefully get my sister out of all this. And hopefully clear up the matter as quick as possible. Because, to be perfectly honest with you, I don't care where this emissary's gone, but, I suppose we're gonna have to find out.
Yeah. I'll get my stuff and, get ready. Could
Although,
use a
Pig,
wash. Yeah?
gonna have to talk a little bit about this. What was that the guy said? You did stuff in jungles?
Well, you know I'm not an aristocrat. I'm a jungle man, you know that. How else would I know about the Nicatras, the native to Uharo?
True.
It's just I got involved in the rebellion, and that's that.
You never told us that. Doesn't seem like you getting involved in a rebellion. Interesting, though. I'm not dismissing it, just interesting.
Yeah, it was a damn mess. There's nothing secretive about that, you know. I was a medic. That's where I picked up some of my medic-curgy skills, and I guess I shot a gun. It was a mess. It still is. You know, it's still a mess out there. I don't want to go back there. I don't even like the jungle. I like being on my ship.
I think we're all here because we weren't happy with the situation we were in, so don't worry.
I give Farouk a bit of a look there, and I actually laugh a little. I suppose you could put it that way, Captain. All right, come on then, let's go and deal with the situation.
Yeah, I go and meet the rest of you in the shuttle a bit later with my bag and another shoulder case that, you know, would contain my accelerator rifle, why ever I would bring that.
And as I'm waiting on the shuttle, thinking to myself how the situation is getting a little out of hand, I do wonder how candid the Judicator and this masked fellow were being when they mentioned they've read my files. After all, if anyone could see through false files, they would be able to. I do take a moment now I have my datapad back in my possession just to check again. Have I still got no response from the messages I sent quite a while ago now?
No, you haven't. And it seems strange. Really strange.
That in itself is a little worrying. Never mind.
And Farouk? Are you getting ready?
Yes, I bring my sword. Yeah.
Okay. You all enter the shuttle. The airlock closes. You say goodbye to the red moon.
Just pray to the icons that the little bugger doesn't move it again.
And then you're heading back to the turmoil, to the chaos at the Coriolis station.
You have listened to an episode of Red Moon Roleplaying, where we play the campaign Mercy of the Icons for Coriolis, which is published by Free League. Gamemaster was Adam Palmquist, and we were also joined by Jenny Jungevall. The music was created by AlphaZone and Sabled Sun, and was used with permission from their label Cryochamber. Please check out cryochamber.bandcamp.com or their YouTube channel for more of their lovely dark ambient. We also used the official Coriolis soundtrack by Stars on a Black Sea. The sound effects come from the Syrinscape sci-fi player and was used with permission from Syrinscape. With its ease of use, you might want to try it for your gaming table. We would like to give massive thanks to our champions of the Red Moon, Martin Heuschober, Simon Cooper, David, Julia, Camilla, Bob Lange, Cameron, Antxon, Graham Barey, and Doug Thomson for their generous support. You would of course also like to thank all of our other patrons. Without your support, the show would not be possible. If you want to support our work, please check us out on Patreon. You can get access to bonus campaigns for Cult of Divinity Lost, Call of Cthulhu, and Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay there, as well as binge the rest of Last Voyage of the Ghazali and Emissary Lost. You can also get early and raw access to all of our recordings and hear your name read on the show as a champion of the Red Moon, as well as play some Cult with us. Most importantly, that support is what keeps the show going, so do check us out there. Thank you again for listening, and remember that the song leads us to the truth under a great winged shadow.